What does food insecurity mean to you?
Not having enough food or not knowing where your next meal is coming from.
Food security, it means like you're able to get food without worrying about not getting food.
Like not knowing like when your next meal is, or not knowing like if you're gonna be able to eat.
Don't have food, or that you can't afford food.
Having a limit or less of food.
To me, it means not knowing if you're gonna have food for the next week or the next day.
It means not having enough to eat or to not having enough to purchase groceries.
For me, it means that sometimes your paycheck is not enough to cover for the week. And although I live with my parents and my mom doesn't work and my dad only works, it's hard for me because I come to school and my dad is a field worker and he doesn't get paid enough. So sometimes, even though we don't run out of food because my mom always finds a way to make meals, but sometimes it's an issue because she worries about where the money is gonna come for the next meal, but she plans a cheap meal so that we all can afford to eat.
Our very own Fresno State students are struggling with something that most of us take for granted: access to healthy food. According to the Fresno Unified School District website, fresnou.org, during K-12, the Food Service Department provides meals under the National School Breakfast and Lunch Program. 98,000 meals are served daily. 18 million meals are served per year. Most of these children depend on the free meals, but what happens when they graduate and can no longer depend on these guaranteed free lunches? Food insecurity contributes to health issues that are associated with the lack of eating or skipping meals. But Fresno State is working towards helping the students with this issue by opening the student cupboard in 2014.
So the student cupboard is our free food and hygiene pantry, which is a part of the Fresno State Food Security Project. The Food Security Project is a multi-initiative program to be able to support our students with their basic needs, including education, resources, and connections to food and hygiene items.
Okay, my name is C. Jean, and I am a graduate student within the Student Fair and College Counseling Program, within our counseling graduate program here at Fresno State. And when I went there, I couldn't find it the first time I couldn't find it. But when I went inside, the student staff were very welcoming. There were other students there, but I didn't feel bad for being there. There was a lot of comments. When I read about the student cupboard, I found out the student cupboard was placed over there because there is some sort of stigma against hunger, right? Like, oh, you can't afford food, like you're poor. So this is a stigma against poverty to begin with. No, but when I went in there were other students in there. So it's like, oh, this is pretty chill. I didn't feel bad being in that space. I grabbed what I got and I showed them my ID and I left. So it was cool. I rely on the cupboard a lot. And I've been able to, one of my best things to give for the cupboard is just like stock up on spaghetti and tomato sauce. Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy that I'm able to do that for the summer.
Majority of our food comes from the Fresno Community Food Bank. We are 100% donor funded, which is amazing. And so most of our funds go to purchasing the food from Fresno Community Food Bank at a highly discounted rate. The other kind of maybe 15 to 20% of the food that we have on our shelves is mostly coming in from donations. We work with Poverello House, and Poverello House brings to us donations on a weekly basis. We also partner with the Food to Share Network through Fresno Metro Ministry, and they do food recoveries from the Fresno Unified School sites. We try to put everything on our shelves. We're in the process of really trying to ramp up the amount of fruits and vegetables that we have on our shelves and available to students. And so that's one of the things that's a big goal of mine in the future, is to make sure that we have a lot more fruits and vegetables for our students. And produce is the one thing that is unlimited for our students. So when we get produce, they can take as much as they want. We are open to all currently enrolled Fresno State students. And students are able to come in once per day to get one of each item of their choosing to fill their one grocery basket. And we're open open 5 days a week for those students to come in and get that.
This service exists because we know enough students who need this service, so they don't have to feel like if they go out there, they'll be stigmatized or it will look bad on them. Because think about, you don't know the person next to you is probably in the same situation.
My name is Dr. Sarah Whitley, and I study hunger and food insecurity. My area specifically looks at what policy looks like to address this issue and how individuals cope with this situation, both in the rural and in the urban setting. Fresno State has been a leader in trying to address food insecurity in its student populations. When President Castro first came into his position, one of his main initiatives was to address student resources for food insecurity. And both him and the First Lady have done extensive programming to try to address this issue for Fresno State students. For example, the student cupboard has been set up, and we continue to see steady and increasing numbers of students using these services. Of course, there always could be something more that could be done, but in terms of if we look across the nation at how colleges and universities are addressing this issue, Fresno State has been a leader and continues to be a leader in their initiatives to address this for students.